Coming up on Chapman News, the clock is ticking as the federal government faces a shutdown later today. We have the latest on the standoff on Capitol Hill.
We have very large difference. 21st, it's clean, it is bipartisan.
Also, ICE is facing local criticism following the in-custody death of an OC man. We have that story, plus a look at local citizens pushing back on the Trump administration's immigration crackdown.
California EV drivers are soon not able to drive alone in the carpool lane anymore. I'm Ryan Kiser here in Orange. I'll have a live report coming up, including when that change takes effect.
From Orange, California, live from Dodge College of Film and Media Arts, this is Chapman News.
Welcome to Chapman News. I'm Kirra Johnson.
And I'm Sofia Youngs. Getting into our latest stories, it looks very likely there's going to be a federal government shutdown later today. White House meetings between President Trump and congressional leaders have failed to reach a funding agreement. Democrats like Chuck Schumer are refusing to pass the funding bill unless previous cuts to health care are restored.
We have very large differences on health care and on their ability to undo whatever budget we agree to through rescissions and through impoundment, as well as pocket rescissions. This is purely and simply...
Without an agreement between both parties, the first shutdown in 6 years will happen tonight at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. Essential government services like Social Security and Medicare will continue, but many federal employees will be laid off and not paid.
President Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth today reiterated that U.S. military members will continue to be deployed in American cities. They also say the military has been distracted by political correctness. Hegseth summoned more than 800 of the nation's top military leaders to a Marine Corps base in Quantico, Virginia. Many historians and former military leaders called this meeting an unprecedented event. Hegseth told military leaders he's rolling out 10 directives, including a physical fitness and personal grooming requirements. This is a return, quote, to the highest male standard for combat positions.
This means at the War Department, first and foremost, we must restore a ruthless, dispassionate, and common sense application of standards. I don't want my son serving alongside troops who are out of shape, or in combat unit with females who can't meet the same combat arms physical standards as men, or troops who are not fully proficient on their assigned weapons, platform, or task, or under a leader who was the first, but not the best.
President Trump also announced his administration would be committing $1 trillion to military budget next year.
There's a mixed reaction to President Trump's plan to end the war between Hamas and Israel. Trump met with the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, at the White House yesterday to announce the plan to end the war in Gaza. It calls for an immediate ceasefire, freeing the hostages on both sides, and rebuilding Gaza.
What the future holds for the Palestinians, no one really knows, but the plan that we put forward today is focused on ending the war immediately, getting all of our hostages back, getting everything back.
Your plan provides a practical and realistic path forward for Gaza in the coming years, in which Gaza will be administered neither by Hamas nor the Palestinian Authority, but by those committed to a genuine peace with Israel.
Netanyahu says that if Hamas rejects the peace plan, then Israel will, quote, finish the job by itself. Israel and several Middle Eastern Arab leaders have accepted the proposal. However, there has been no response yet from Hamas.
California's Governor Newsom has signed a first-of-its-kind law to regulate artificial intelligence. The measure requires AI companies to publicly disclose their safety protocols. Those protocols would prevent people from using advanced AI models to cause widespread harm, such as shutting down bank systems. Under a law, AI companies must report any critical incidents within 15 days and face fines up to $1 million per violation.
Funeral services will be held later this week for a Westminster man who died while in ICE custody. 39-year-old Ismail Al-Abi was a DACA reciprocant who was detained in August during an ICE raid at an OC car wash. He was then transported to the Aldento Detention Center near Victorville. According to a statement from ICE, Al-Abi was seen by medical staff where he said he suffered pain from a skin abscess. 3 days later, he was taken to a hospital, and within 24 hours, he was dead. The family and friends of Allah Abe is calling his death suspicious. However, ICE has issued a statement saying, quote, ICE remains committed to ensuring that all those in its custody reside in a safe, secure, and humane environments.
Some community members here in Orange County are fighting back against President Trump's immigration crackdown.
Our Nathaniel, Rudolph, and Sherahan Tahiri have an in-depth look of what these grassroots groups are doing to help those who are being targeted for possible deportation.
Across the country, President Trump says he's taking action to fulfill his campaign promise of safer borders. He also believes the U.S. is not the only country needing to crack down on immigration.
The best example is the #1 political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are going to hell.
CNN reports the Trump administration has deported approximately 200,000 undocumented immigrants since January. ICE raids in Southern California this past summer drew protesters to cities including Santa Ana, here in OC. Roberto Herrera, the Leadership Development Director with OC Resilience, says some community members are now living in fear because of the increased presence of ICE agents.
So many community members are staying home, right? Or they're fearful of taking their kids to school. They're scared of being out in public.
The Orange County Rapid Response Network is another organization working to protect immigrants' rights and provide essential resources to those facing deportation.
Our organization is a community defense project where we utilize ICE verification, policy making, and all sorts of different advocacy efforts.
OCRN was pleased when Costa Mesa city lawmakers created a $200,000 immigrant legal defense fund to help cover legal fees for law firms taking on deportation cases. While the defense fund proposal passed 5-2, Mike Bewley, one of the council members who voted no, says the intention of the measure could backfire.
If our goal is to do what's best for our citizenry, I think making yourself a national target and making these grand symbolic gestures don't serve any practical purpose.
Costa Mesa also voted to join the ACLU's class action lawsuit, challenging the Trump administration's policies. But a recent Supreme Court decision allows roving ICE patrols to continue operating in Southern California. And the decision also allows the agents to use race-based profiling.
Now, individuals that look brown, individuals that speak Spanish, and individuals that may have low-paying jobs are now targets of enforcement.
While Councilmember Bewley disagrees with some of the immigration crackdown practices, he says checking people's status is lawful.
I don't feel that anybody in the United States should be discriminated against and arrested and deported and denied due process because of who they are and where they're from. But I do think law enforcement can act reasonably to detain people, question people, and do a basic investigation.
Currently, only 2 out of the 34 cities in OC have passed immigration legal defense funds, and 5 have signed on to the ACLU lawsuit. The ultimate goal for the activists? To get all Orange County cities on board.
When cities are able to step in and provide that legal assistance, we can make sure that families who deserve to remain here in Orange County can stay here in Orange County.
As the future reporting for Chapman News, I'm Nathaniel Rudolph.
Hurricane Imelda has formed off the East Coast, bringing heavy rains to the southeast areas.
Our Angela Hara is tracking the storm. What can we expect, Angela?
Yeah, hey guys, as of now, we are tracking 2 hurricanes in the Atlantic, Hurricane Humberto and Hurricane Imelda. Let's take them one by one. Hurricane Humberto has weakened to a Category 1 and is on a projected track to head northwest. We're tracking winds up to 80 miles per hour, but the real threat here at the moment, however, is the hurricane that has just formed. That's going to be Hurricane Imelda, currently at a Category 1, but expected to upgrade in just a few hours. Take a look at its effect on the East Coast states, specifically those in the southern cities in Florida. Now, again, it is projected to bump up to a Category 2 hurricane in just a couple of hours. Another look here at the wave heights. We are expecting at least 16 feet along the East Coast. That is extremely significant, of course, in the East Coast on those states. They are, of course, telling people not to surf in the ocean at any time at this point. The hurricane currently at 85 miles per hour as it starts from the Bahamas and will eventually pass through the island of Bermuda. They are currently on a hurricane watch. I'll take a look at the local and national weather coming up in just a few minutes.
California has the largest electric vehicle market in the country.
23% of EV sales happen here in the Golden State.
But electric vehicle owners are about to lose one perk. Chapman News reporter Ryan Kiser is live near the 55 freeway in Orange to tell us more.
Yeah, and thanks guys. Here in the state of California, there are a number of benefits that electrical vehicle drivers can enjoy, like rebates and lower charging costs. But soon, drivers won't be able to drive alone in the carpool lane anymore.
Lila and Waverly both drive a clean air vehicle, but soon, when they drive on the freeway, they won't be able to use the carpool lane alone anymore. That's because the federal government is not allowing California to continue the Clean Air Vehicle Decal program. Soon, all drivers will need 2 or more people in the car to use the HOV lane. This includes eligibility for reduced tolls on some Orange County fast-track toll roads and express lanes. Waverly Arocto comes from a family of electric vehicle owners. Because they commute, they get a great value from the CAV decals.
Especially since we commute, we're a commuter family, so we'll drive up to LA all the time. My family drove from Seattle to California using those carpool lane stickers.
Not everyone got much value of it like Waverly did. Lila Baruchim also drives a clean air vehicle, but she never got the decal.
I don't think I would want to drive alone in the carpool lane. I don't really feel a need to because I'm not doing like long distance drives that much, so no.
The state DMV says customers who already applied and paid for the decal will not be getting refunded. EV owners still have a number of other perks like rebates and lower overall costs since they don't pay for gas. But now there's one less perk for them to enjoy on the road.
I'm a little bit bummed out. I think, again, it was a huge, great incentive for me to have. And I mean, now that I already have the car, I'm still going to continue to have it. But I think that it's definitely a bummer.
The CAV decal program started in 2004 and was designed to encourage the adoption of hybrid vehicle technologies. The program evolved through the years to include zero emission and some compressed natural gas vehicles. Neither the DMV or the California Air Resources Board have said if the program could return in the future.
It is important to note that although those CAV decals do expire tonight, California state law does require there to be a 60-day grace period. After that grace period, EV drivers are subject to a citation. Reporting live near the 55 freeway here in Orange, I'm Ryan Kiser.
Thanks, Ryan. Coming up, an unusual sighting in the city of Irvine. Find out how these gadgets are making sidewalks more accessible.
How close are late-night comedians to the 11th hour, or has the clock already struck midnight? I'm Nico Schwegler, and I'll dive into what the future may hold for American media and entertainment following the Jimmy Kimmel controversy.
I'm worried about Mom.
Mom? She's fine. These the ones, right, Mom?
Yeah, groundlings.
Sweet potatoes.
Daddy, it's salty.
Some things come with age.
And some don't.
Early detection of Alzheimer's can lead to better care for your loved one. Learn the early warning signs at 10signs.org.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
Disneyland has agreed to one of the largest wage settlements in California history. Disney has agreed to a $233 million settlement with unions representing its employees. The unions took Disney to court after the company said it was exempt from California's minimum wage law. The deal includes buyback worth thousands of dollars for many current and past workers. Ryan Calmers works at the members-only Club 33 at Disneyland. She says the settlement is already changing the outlook for her coworkers.
Like, I know some people who are genuinely getting like 10K from this. And so it's like a lot of money, and it helps them a lot just be able to plan for their futures, because some had to go overtime. So now they'll have more time to like spend with family, and also to just like be more flexible with their hours.
A Disney spokesperson told Reuters, quote, "Disney cares deeply about our cast members. We are proud to already offer some of the most competitive wages and comprehensive employee benefits in our industry."
Book bans have been controversial in communities across the country. An Orange County nonprofit says the city of Huntington Beach illegally targeted one group by limiting access to some books. All Trans Latinx is a Santa Ana-based nonprofit that advocates for the transgender and LGBTQIA+ community. The group took legal action following the Huntington Beach City Council's decision to move restricted access to certain children's books at city public libraries. Chloe Rios-Wyatt is the CEO of Alalanza.
And so that was something that really alarmed us, because as a trans-led organization, that means that anything that is related to trans people or LGBTQ people in public libraries would not be accessible for youth or for anybody.
A judge recently ruled in favor of Alalanza Trans Latinx, finding that Huntington Beach's actions violated California's Freedom to Read Act. The decision requires the city to roll back its book restrictions.
Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air, but for many, the battle scars from the fight over his suspension are still open.
That's right. It is a tense and uncertain environment right now for American media. However, Chapman News reporter Nico Schwegler joins us to break down the fourth wall. Nico?
That's right, Kirra and Sofia. Jimmy Kimmel's short-lived removal from on the air sent shockwaves off the air. But now, the attention has switched to the future. From crackdowns on free speech, to possible changes to FCC guidelines, to President Trump's next threat, nobody knows what domino will fall next.
Yeah, I don't think anyone knows. I think, I think that's one thing that makes things feel so unsettled at the moment, is I don't think anyone knows where this is headed.
Dr. John Compton is a political science professor at Chapman. He says the Kimmel episode is unlike any other he's observed.
In my opinion, this is one of the most egregious examples of the government trying to censor speech it doesn't like that's happened in recent decades. I think Trump is totally in a class by himself. I mean, that's just part of American politics. But to find a president saying, "I'm going to use my regulatory powers to force you off the air because you're criticizing me," I think that's completely unprecedented.
Not only is the moment unprecedented, but it may not be a one-off either. FCC Chair Brendan Carr vowed last week that Kimmel wouldn't be the last shoe to drop.
And Nico, I feel like we've been hearing a whole lot about Brendan Carr recently. Who exactly is he, and why is he someone we should be keeping tabs on?
Well, Sofia, Brendan Carr was appointed head of the FCC by President Trump in January. Dr. Compton notes Carr is very willing to follow through on Trump's agenda, which continues to target anyone who disagrees with the president.
I don't know if the tone has shifted that much. The tone has been pretty consistent, I would say. But I think that's the biggest difference, is that now he's got people in positions of power who want to carry out his directives, even when they may seem to be unconstitutional.
Nico, we've talked a lot about the future today, but what are the next steps for this issue?
Well, Kirra, Sinclair and Nexstar, who initially rejected Kimmel's return to the air, finally ended their boycott, meaning Jimmy Kimmel Live is now back on all ABC stations. As for Trump's next move, well, that always seems to be a wild card, and we'll need to see when the next shoe finally drops. For Chapman News, I'm Nico Schwegler.
A group of Democratic U.S. senators want answers about the business dealings between Jeffrey Epstein and the country's largest bank. The senators want James Dimon, the top executive at JP Morgan Chase, to answer questions about how and why the bank helped fund Epstein's various enterprises for more than 15 years. That happened despite some of the bank employees voicing their concerns. Epstein was a convicted child sex offender who authorities say died by suicide in a jail cell in 2019. His business relationship with JP Morgan was the subject of a lengthy investigative story published earlier this month by the New York Times. Matt Goldstein is one of the 3 journalists who has worked on the story for several years. He tells Chapman News no one executive at JP Morgan is to blame for these ethical lapses.
It sort of raises the question, the way I've sort of described this is as sort of like an institutional fail. Yeah, there may be 1 or 2 people who are played a more critical role, but when a relationship like this goes on for 15 some odd years, it's more than any one person. And it's basically no one at the bank willing to sort of go to the mat to say, yeah, I don't like what's going on here. And even though this important banker may like him and wants him to stay, I think this is something we need to do to bring to other people's attention.
Goldstein says many red flags, such as unusually large withdrawals from Epstein's accounts, were missed because of a lack of bank reporting policies. JP Morgan agreed to a $290 million settlement with Epstein's victims in 2023.
The city of Irvine is putting a futuristic twist on the issue of accessibility for the disabled. Robots known as DAX bots will be out and about in the city over the next 6 months. Equipped with GPS and sensors, the DAX bots will scan over 950 miles of sidewalks and 70 miles of paved trails across the city, looking for areas where accessibility can be improved. Officials note this will be more efficient than having city workers do the inspections. Acting City Director of Public Works and Sustainability, Alex Salazar, says it is also more cost-effective.
It also helps reduce overall cost by up to 40%. So it's not just faster, but it's also more efficient.
The DAX bots began their work in the West Park neighborhood and will make their way northward across the city.
Well, guys, I have to say those robots look really cute.
I want one. It's so cute. I can't.
I know. I'm just wondering if they're waterproof. I don't know about that one.
I know. That's a good question. Hey, it doesn't get better than that. Great way to help, and it doesn't they're cute too. It's just a great thing.
Just put it in your pocket.
And speaking of water, we're going to be seeing a lot of precipitation nationally. But first, we are going to take a look at today's temperature. Here in Orange, it's going to be partly cloudy with a high of 77. And taking a look at our national forecast, up in Seattle, we're going to be seeing some rain, as well as Bay Area, although they are going to be going in and out of sunny skies. Desert cities are looking a little bit cooler, high of 89 in Las Vegas. Palm Springs, my hometown, at 93. So yeah, believe it or not, that's pretty cool for Palm Springs. Up in the Midwest, Minneapolis, Twin Cities, 81, looking cloudy, and Chicago, right next to it, is going to be looking sunny. And of course, we are going to be tracking that precipitation that is coming from those 2 hurricanes. Atlanta's going to be seeing a lot of rain today with a high of 80. Here in OC, we are so fortunate that we have such amazing weather all the time. It's going to be perfect, really well balanced all around, low to high 70s. And taking a look at our Fenestra forecast, the whole week, going a little crazy. It's not ready to let you guys know yet. All right, maybe not. All right, well, it's going to be looking pretty cloudy for the whole week, and leading up to that weekend on Saturday, it's going to be pretty sunny. That's all for the weather. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Angela. Still ahead, our Madison Miller talks with a college student who moved halfway around the world and here to OC to pursue her goals. Hear her upcoming inspiring story next.
I'm Lisa Pressler. The Chapman football team has a lot to celebrate. I'll have that story and more coming up in sports.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Some people judge a book by its cover, and if you're not what people are looking for, you're kind of like a reject.
School, it feels like everyone's staring at me, and I'm just kind of not really a person.
It just feels hard today. Nobody was listening to me.
And I'll try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to move to a new country where you knew no one? Well, here in OC, one student at UC Irvine did just that. Chapman News reporter Madison Miller has her story.
Attending a four-year university was not always in the books for 20-year-old Vinuri Viaratna. Vinuri immigrated from Sri Lanka with her dad and sister right after her high school graduation in 2022. Her mom stayed in Sri Lanka for a few years, working at a children's nursery. Vinuri's father now works at a gas station in Orange. Vinuri settled into her new home in Orange while working at a local fast food chain to save money for college. Vinuri tells Chapman News the transition from Sri Lanka to the U.S. was much more difficult than she expected.
Coming in as not just as a first-gen student, given the fact that my parents doesn't have like a college education, it's really difficult, especially because when you're navigating your life through like a very different country and it's all new. There's different cultural norms. The culture is different. The people are different.
Vinuri faced a variety of struggles upon her arrival in the U.S. She wanted to attend college, but didn't know where to start. The classes she took in Sri Lanka didn't transfer to U.S. schools, making college seem like an impossible goal.
My initial thought was, I'm falling behind because I see all of my friends that is in Sri Lanka already studying university, and they're already in their like second year. And I felt like I was stuck in one place and I couldn't relate to anyone. There was no one that I could talk to.
Vinuri persevered and enrolled at Santiago Canyon College, where she embraced campus life, even running for student government. She graduated in May with her associate's degree and was accepted to UC Irvine to study business economics. She started her first day at UCI on Thursday. While coming to California all the way from Sri Lanka was an adjustment, Vinuri says it's important to take every opportunity in front of you, something she'll be doing at her new school.
Take risks and not be afraid. If you fail, try again. And that's just how life is.
Madison Miller, Chapman News.
Chapman football's coach earns his first career win at Chapman.
Lisa Pressler joins us live with more on the story and sports. Lisa?
Thanks, Kirra and Sofia. The Chapman Panthers are preparing for their homecoming game against the University of Redlands after coming off a huge win this past Saturday. The Panthers dominated Laverne 56-6. It was the Panthers' first win of the season and Coach Casey Shine's first win as head coach. The Skyac also named number 5 running back Fisher Huss as Offensive Athlete of the Week. He had 2 touchdowns in the win over the Leopards. After the game, the players celebrated by dumping an ice bucket on Coach Shine. It was a fun and memorable night for the Chapman Panthers. I got the chance to speak with Coach Shine about that celebration.
You know what? I didn't even expect anything. Yeah, somebody's like, "Hey, look behind you," and it just hit me right in the face. So, yeah, no, it felt great. It was just a celebration, and that was one of the things we talked about with the team this week, going down 0-2, but playing 2 really tough teams and two really good games and just close losses.
Homecoming kicks off this Saturday with women's soccer at 11 a.m., followed by the football game against Redlands at 7 p.m. You can watch CSBN's coverage of both games live on Flow Sports. In hockey news, Mason McTavish will be a key player in the Ducks offense moving forward. The Anaheim Ducks have signed him to a 6-year contract through the 2030-31 NHL season. After sitting out the start of training camp over a contract dispute, the 22-year-old McTavish signed a $42 million deal. In 3 seasons with Anaheim, he's racked up 140 points. Last season, he led the Ducks in scoring with 22 goals and 52 points in 76 games. The Ducks faced the San Jose Sharks in preseason play yesterday, but McTavish was not on the ice. He's expected to rejoin the team for training camp and could play in an upcoming preseason game. This weekend, Huntington Beach hosted the largest gathering of black surfers in history. The festival is called A Great Day in the Stoke and celebrates surfing, community, and culture. Chapman News reporter Tori Scelfo takes us inside the movement.
In the heart of Huntington Beach, known as Surf City, a different kind of surf festival is making history.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
A Great Day in the Stoke is now in its 4th year, creating a safe space for black surfers to connect through waves.
So it's an opportunity for this community to come together, to meet each other personally, because everybody has these online relationships. But we never get a chance to, we're separated by land, and so we don't get a chance to be together. But by water, we can come together and all participate in this, and it's fabulous.
The organization was born out of unity. In 2020, Nathan Flewellen founded A Great Day in the Stoke during a time of national racial reckoning and community solidarity. Today, their mission is to celebrate black surfers with a focus on the joy of riding the waves.
If you're going with the crew, you're going to go a lot farther than if you're just trying to, pave the road by yourself. So I think that's why competitions and events like this are so great, is because, we're all working towards the same goal in one way or another. So it's great to kind of have this celebration and have everyone get together.
The festival is about more than just riding waves. The event also featured free surf and yoga lessons and supporting local black-owned businesses.
Well, I see so many young people, and that's the impact that it's having. What we need to do is see ourselves in activities. And when I started, there were far fewer people of color, black people, African Americans that were participating in the sport. There always have been some, but just the numbers are small.
With about 30 surfers taking part here in Huntington Beach, this year's event is a reminder that the ocean belongs to everyone. For Chapman News, I'm Tori Scelfo.
This has been the Panther Sports Roundup. I'm Lisa Pressler. See you next time.
I'm Isabella. Savea. Coming up, California gets a taste of Hawaii. A new poke shop straight from the islands is making waves in Huntington Beach. I'll show you what makes it stand out from the rest.
I'm Hann. Coming up, have you seen these little charms taking over a world? Look into the Labubu craze and how it transformed one Orange County store.
Good afternoon. I'm Natalie Ross.
And I'm Samantha Thomas.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Steve.
Good afternoon and welcome to
this
edition of Chapman News.
Since 2010, Chapman News has been covering weather, entertainment, sports, politics, and news, broadcasting from Dodge College's Marionette Studios.
As the only live newscast in Orange County, our journalists aim to highlight local, statewide, and national communities.
We're here to provide the most accurate, engaging, and relevant news for our community.
Tune in to our nationally recognized and award-winning newscast, Chapman News.
Watch locally on Channel 6 or on our YouTube to stay updated with the latest.
Let me just say, just looking at these waves makes me want to go on a nice vacation to Hawaii, I think.
Yeah, well, Sofia, you can actually get the taste of Hawaii here in OC. In Huntington Beach, reporter Isabella dives deep into a poke shop that's bringing the islands to Southern California.
That's right, Sofia and Kirra. Here in Huntington Beach, you can find Rise Poke Shack, a family-owned business from Hawaii that's drawing crowds from all over Southern California. I got the chance to sit down with co-founder Ryan Chang and get a taste of my favorite food from back home. Take a look. What started as a small business on Oahu's North Shore has now turned into a popular poke spot in Huntington Beach. Rise Poke Shack had their grand opening this month and is already drawing crowds from all over California, Texas, and even Hawaii.
Yeah, because when they first opened up their truck in Hawaii, and then I followed them from then, and then I saw a video that they opened one up here, so I was like, man, I gotta try to come down and try them out. So.
Co-founder Ryan Chang makes his poke fresh to order, but there's one key factor that makes his food stand out.
We bring them straight from Kahuku fresh, inamona, we got red alai, all that kind of stuff from Hawaii, and then that brought the Hawaiians over from all around. So I want to make them happy, because if I don't have them happy, I just kind of failed the mission, you know?
What makes the poke shop even more successful is the Hawaiian and Polynesian community's support.
So the other day on the grand opening, had guys drive from Texas with the Hawaiian flags and everything. So if we could spread that, and when people see the Rise Poke name, that'll be the vision. They'll be like, "Wow, I gotta go over there," and then maybe we can be when you know how to choke like poke chains and stuff, but you don't ever see one Hawaii branded poke chain. I don't know if I want to be labeled like that, but if you go see our brand, you're gonna know what you're gonna get, and all the locals from Hawaii that move over here, they're gonna know they got one place for come down.
Customers start to line up before the shop opens to try popular styles like the ahi limu, spicy tobiko, and signature shoyu. I got to taste the ahi limu seaweed poke and can say that the first bite made me feel like I was back at home.
It tastes fresh, like someone just went to catch them this morning.
If you're looking for a place that serves aloha first, then poke, head down to Rise Poke Shack in Huntington Beach. Ryan and his wife started this business back in 2020 and have since grown into more than just a poke shop, but into a community for everyone to feel welcomed. Rise Poke Shack is open daily from 11:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can also keep up with their journey on their Instagram at Rise Poke Shack. For Chapman News, I'm Isabella Savea. Aloha.
Have you heard of Labubus? They're everywhere, and they've taken over this store in OC. Chapman News reporter Hann joins us with the story. Aussie?
Thanks, Kirra. Labubus, created by Pop Mart in 2019, have taken the world by storm. Stars like Lisa from Blackpink and Lady Gaga have been spotted with one, and they're projected to reach over $1 billion in sales by the end of 2025. One of the most popular spots to get a Labubu is located right here in Orange County. I had a chance to speak with the owner of the La Boutique store to learn more about the little world of Labubus. Take a look.
Just 5 minutes from Disneyland, you'll find a collector's paradise. The La Boutique shop is packed wall to wall with Labubus, from rare figurines to tiny outfits and accessories. Owner Mick Mendoza says he never expected the dolls to take off.
I didn't know what they were when I started. I noticed that people were like fighting over them for just a case of 6 that I brought into the shop, and saw that they were one of the most viral, trendy thing you could carry or own.
And the craze has paid off. What started as a small collection has turned the shop into a hotspot, with new releases selling out and fans waiting hours.
When I first started carrying Labubus, my Instagram page had roughly maybe about 6,000 people on there. Currently it's at over 130,000. It got to the point where people were in line waiting 2 to 3 hours just to get into the shop.
And it's not just fans from Orange County. Some have flown in from other states. Even celebrities like the Hilton sisters have stopped by.
Yes, Kathy Hilton and Paris and Nikki Hilton, they're all about the Labubus and bringing me out to events.
And while trends come and go, Nick hopes the shop can remain a place for Labubu fans to connect.
It's been a really big roller coaster of different types of folks coming into the shop. Every day's a surprise of who's gonna come in today.
If you're a fan of Labubus, you can follow the store on TikTok and Instagram at La Boutique Shop. Reporting for Chapman News, this is Hann.
Now that was some breaking news. I definitely need to get my hands on some of those Labubus. Anyways, I'm Kirra Johnson.
And I'm Sophia Youngs. Thank you for watching Chapman News, and stay tuned for next week.